Students, in our today's class we will study the objectives of wage and salary administration, that is guidelines or principles of sound wage policy. Okay, so in your examination these principles or your guidelines you can expect it for 15 marks. So a sound wage and salary administration program aims to attract and retain the qualified and competent employees. See, when your organization or your company is paying good salary, okay, or wages, at that time your company will attract good employees, that is very well qualified people and competent, okay, that is those who are efficient will be willing to work for your organization. Take your case only. Once when you complete your studies, okay, obviously you will be willing to work for the companies which will pay you good skill. Okay, so that is the aim over here. So the organization or the companies have to set up good scale over here. Okay, then to retain the existing employees. So whoever are working in the organization, okay, so in your compensation they are going to decide the scale. Okay, so what is the basis for promotion, how you are going to promote. Okay, suppose if there are efficient workers, if there are people who are doing extra work, okay, or somebody is doing extraordinary work, so what is the incentive to be given, how to retain them, how to keep the existing employees for a longer period of time. Okay, see, suppose if the company is paying the employees same salary, say every year they are giving only 6,000 rupees per month as salary, there will no, if there is no increment and all, then obviously nobody will be interested to work in such companies. On the other hand, if the companies or the organizations, if they are giving increment every year, at that time in such organization people will to work. Okay, so then the next one, to reward employees according to their efforts and merits. Okay, so incentive plans, whatever we are going to study in the future classes, okay, that is basically for the extra output the worker has done. Okay, if somebody has maintained above standards or somebody has maintained extra work and all, so they must be rewarded. So in your compensation management they will fix that also. Okay, so here the ones who are working well, the ones who are doing well in the company, they will be rewarded. Then to improve employees morale and productivity. Yes, so when you are giving good compensation to your employees, then their enthusiasm towards work will increase. Okay, and even the productivity, whatever they are working, they can give their best because they know that they are going to receive incentives, that they are going to receive good salary, there will be increment in the organization. So when such benefits are given, when the fringe benefits and all are given, they will be motivated to work for the organization. Then to facilitate payroll administration, budgeting and wage and salary control. Okay, so payroll, it is basically a register wherein the name of the people working in the organization, that is the employee's name, will be written, and the amount to be paid, that is the salary or wages paid, on what basis they are going to pay, what are the deductions made, everything will be mentioned in that. Okay, then so here your compensation or the main objective is to facilitate the administration. Okay, administration of this payroll, then budgeting. Okay, then next one, to promote employees organizational flexibility including promotions and transfer. Okay, so as I have told you, it includes everything. Okay, see, if you are promoting somebody, at that time there should be hike in the salary, so it should not be a dry promotion. So what is the scale for promotion, okay, on what basis you are going to do the promotion, so everything is to be mentioned. Then the wage policy should be carefully formulated. Okay, so whatever wage policy you are following, okay, it should be carefully formulated. Means what, you have to include the minimum wages, you should not set the wages lesser than that. Okay, so in the previous class we have studied about that, right? So here whatever wages you are formulating, it should be adequate. Okay, it should meet the day-to-day needs of that employee. See, if you are paying them less, at that time it will be hard for the employees to live in today's world. Okay, so you have to keep all the things in mind and formulate the wages. Okay, then wage policy should be communicated to all the levels of the management. Okay, so here whatever the wage policy is there, okay, so on what basis you are going to pay, what is the basis for transfer, what is the basis for your promotion, okay, for increment what are the conditions applied. Okay, so when are you going to give the increment, okay, then how are you going to calculate the wages, under which system you are going to calculate the wages. So you have to communicate these things to all the levels of management, okay. That is, you have to tell the managerial staff also, those who are working as supervisors, on what basis they are paid, the workers who are working in the factory, how they are going to be paid, okay, on what basis they will be paid, what is the standard output. So it should be communicated to all the levels over there, okay. And even it should be made known to the trade unions also, because the trade unions, as we know, in the organization, they play a vital role. Suppose if the company is paying less and all, then the trade unions will fight for its members, okay. Then wage policy should be evaluated and reviewed periodically, okay. Suppose if there are any technological changes which have been arising, or maybe if there is changes in the economy and all, at that time the wage policy should be reviewed, okay. That is, changes are to be made in order to meet the changing needs of the organization. Then wage decisions should comply with basic requirements of wage policy, okay. That is, whatever the rules and regulations are there, okay. So it should comply with the minimum wage act, then the bonus act, okay, then various legislations and all are there, okay. So it should fulfill the conditions. Suppose if there are any mistake in the wage policy and all, those should be identified and those should be rectified, okay. Then wage policy should be evaluated and reviewed periodically, okay. So then, if possible, job evaluation should be done on the basis of job analysis, job description and job specification. That is, what kind of job it is, okay, whether it is a tough task, okay, whatever. So suppose if it is a tough task, at that time you have to fix higher salary, okay. Suppose if it is a easy task, the salary will be generally low, okay. So on the basis of the job analysis information which you have collected, okay, suppose if the duties, responsibilities is greater, at that time you have to pay higher scale, okay. If not, then you have to pay the lower scale. So on the basis of that, you have to do the job evaluation, okay. Then the next topic over here is requisites of satisfactory system of compensation, okay. That is wage and salary administration. So the first and foremost thing, it should be simple to understand, okay. So whatever the wage system is been implemented in the organization, it should be simple and should be understandable by all workers, okay. If the wage system is complex, it leads to strikes and agitation. Suppose if the workers don't know on what basis they are going to be paid, okay, how they are going to be paid, then which plan is been adopted, if they don't have any idea, at that time there might be mistrust among the employer and the employee, okay. That's why a simple plan, say if, suppose if you work for 8 hours, you will be paid 300 rupees. It is simple, okay. Now if you are adding some complications and all, at that time you will lose your employee, okay. There might be strikes, lockouts from the side of the employees, okay. Then it must be flexible, okay. That means that it should have elasticity to take care of technological and other changes, okay. So these changes take place from time to time, okay, or for rectifying obvious errors that may have crept in the time of introduction. So maybe you have introduced a plan, at that time some errors and all are there, at that time you have to make the corrections, okay. So during the period of recession, okay, or due to reduction of quota of raw material by the government, or due to accumulation of stock or want of order for sale, etc. So here the management may require lesser production. In such situation, it would be right of the management to fix the limit for extra production, okay, and incentive scheme should contain a clause for such right also, okay. So on the basis of the time which is been going, okay, suppose if a recession is going, if some other economic changes are going, so whatever the plans you have formulated, it should be easy to make the alteration, okay. It should not be rigid. Then it must be an sufficient income to the employees, okay. That is, the system which you are providing, it must provide sufficient income to the employees. See, suppose if you are not suppose the wages which you are paying, or if the salary which you are paying, by that money, if the employee cannot meet his basic needs, at that time he won't be interested to come for that particular job, right, okay. He won't be willing to work, so he cannot work efficiently. So in order to make him work efficiently, you have to pay him good scale, okay. Then provide various incentives. So the plan whichever is there, it should provide the various or sufficient incentives. Suppose if he has made some extra production and all, he should be paid more. Okay, then it should reduce labor turnover. Suppose if the organization is paying good salary or wages, it will automatically reduce the employee turnover, that is people leaving the organization. See, when the companies are paying good, okay, so when the wages and salary is good, generally people don't prefer to leave those organizations. Okay, suppose if the companies are paying lesser compared to the competitors and all, at that time people will leave the job, there are chances of leaving the job. So when if you have good wage and salary administration, or if you are giving good wages and salaries, then the employees will stay there for a longer period of time. Then guaranteed minimum wage. Okay, so the wage system must guarantee minimum wage to every worker. Then satisfactory wage system improves quality of input. See, it's obvious that once when the workers are receiving more from the company, they will work efficiently. Okay, so when they are working efficiently, the output will also increase, the quality of the product will be increased, the morale of the employee will be increased. So here the organization's goals and objectives can be achieved. Then distinction between skilled and unskilled workers. So here the skilled workers, the workers who are working hard, okay, so their efforts must be rewarded. Okay, so for this the wage system should distinguish between the skilled and unskilled workers, that is paying more incentives to the people who are working hard, okay, or maybe paying less to the people who are not meeting the standards. And also that is what fixation of the wages for certain kind of workers for their skills. Then it should be practical. So whatever it may be the type of your wage system, okay, no matter what system you are following, this system now we are going to study in the next class. So it might be a Rowan plan, it might be time rate, piece rate, okay, or it might be a Halsey plan, Emerson plan. So whatever plan you are implementing, it must meet in the reality, that is it should be implemented in the reality. Some premium plans are there which are theoretically quite attractive, okay, but they do not fit for practical purpose. So whatever plan you are implementing, it has to meet the practical world also, okay, that is in reality it must be implemented. Then the standard set for the payment of wage. Okay, so the standard set for the payment of wage incentive should be of average difficulty. Suppose if the standards are tight or if they are high, okay, at that time it won't be easy for the employees to beat the standards. Okay, so they would hardly experience any competition. So similarly, if the standard is too tight, it makes employees complement with their pre-incentive. You should not set easy standard also, you should not set hard standard also. Okay, so you should set a medium standard wherein the employees will be able to achieve but not that easily. Okay, so here a fair and just standard is the key to any incentive plans, and employees must have the confidence, okay, in both the technical capacity and the integrity of those who establish the standards. Okay, so standards again, they should not be either too high nor they should be too much less. Okay, so these are your requisites. Okay, again those principles, kindly don't ignore them. Okay, so for 15 marks you can expect it. Okay, I hope these things are clear. If not, then you can ask me. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.